Hello on the Sidelines fans. I'm your host, as always, Cameron Capobianco, and joining me today is former Gold Cup champion with Team Canada. Well, still Gold Cup champion with Team Canada, but and also had a great goal, which we'll get into in just a bit in that tournament. But Richard Hastings, former national team member, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to finally meet you after chatting away through LinkedIn. So no, it's great to be here.
Yeah, from going from LinkedIn to now face to face, amazing. So before we get into that amazing Gold Cup win for Team Canada in 2000, I just want to start off by asking you what made Richard Hastings want to be a professional soccer player?
Yeah, I just love playing the game. I don't. There's nothing really else. It's just everything I did and thought about, and I just was so passionate about playing. I was so, I guess, fixated on being a player. Any spare time was out practicing either with myself or out with my friends. Um, yeah, and even I guess going through school and I was very sporty and lots of different teachers asking me to play different sports and or get ready for university stuff like that, and I just was like, I just said no, I'm just playing football. So and fortunately, obviously the opportunities came and I managed to take them at the time.
Were there any differences? Let's get into your early playing career. You played overseas in Europe and in Canada, but were there any differences between playing in the two countries? First off, in the style of play, like in Canada, was there any differences from playing in Europe?
Playing for Canada in terms of national team. Yeah, I mean it's probably a different game in terms of the opposition, the climate. Um, Certainly because I think most of the teams we came up against playing for Canada were probably more technical teams. So they played a lot of passes on the ground, things like that. And then naturally with the climate, you can't play at such a high octane, pace of games. So that was different for me. Obviously, coming over from certainly from Scotland, where it's British football, and it's 100 miles an hour, it's tackles flying everywhere and things like that. So that would be the big difference. Probably coming, it's a slower pace, probably international level. Not to say you don't have to be switched on. It's just a different type of game.
So let's jump into that first cap for you for Team Canada in 1998 against Macedonia in that friendly. What was that feeling putting that Canada jersey on for the first time and stepping onto the pitch?
Yeah, obviously it was a special moment. I mean, I represented Canada at the Youth World Cup prior to that, and then gone through some Olympic qualifying as well. So it wasn't like my first time, but obviously it was the first time playing for the men's national team. So it was obviously a huge honor, and um, obviously I owe that to Bruce Twomley, who was the interim manager, who had faith in younger players like myself and Paul Stalteri, Jimmy Brennan, Jason Bent, Jeff Clark at the time. So yeah, it was a great um, experience, but also it was not many people know this, but it fell right on my 21st birthday. So I couldn't have been a better birthday really. I got my first cap, got an assist, we won the game. So everything was a special day.
So were there any nerves going through your head, through your body, through your head, whatever, that just before the game, that when you stepped onto the pitch, you were still like feeling those nerves?
I think there's nerves before every game. I think that's a good thing. Shows that that there's a lot at stake, that you're at a high level. Um, but once the game starts, I think you get on with it. I think the difference probably for in that game would have been that playing with older players. In terms of that, I was used to that at club level, but in terms of the national team, I'd only ever represented and then been with my peers, and then all of a sudden you're on the field with seasoned international players. So, but it was good to be part of that, and obviously start learning off of them as well.
So let's jump ahead now to the 2000 Gold Cup, and where I'm going to start off with is the quarterfinals. And obviously, in that quarterfinals, you had the golden goal of winning the game for Team Canada and helping them en route to win the 2000 Gold Cup. Can you walk us through that goal that you scored?
Yes, obviously we managed to get to 90 minutes and get the draw that put us through to extra time. And I think not just myself, but everyone we were running on empty effectively. It was there was a lot of trying to recuperate us in the period just before we get going again. And I just remember saying to Bruce Twomley that because he was there trying to help me, and I was like, I don't know if I've got anything left, and he's like, yeah, you'll find something. Unfortunately, first couple of minutes into that extra time, we're defending a corner, and yeah, gets cleared, and the first thing you think is just to support the player that the ball's going to, and yeah, I never stopped running. You try to plan ahead a little bit and just think I need to be there, for the what if. And I'm sure everyone's seen the clips that Martin Nash had various options, which is, it probably was the the best counter attack I've ever of all time, because if you were going to coach a counter attack, it'd be a video like that you show, attacking at pace with numbers and everyone getting involved. And I just remember, just getting on my bike basically, and I thought that it could come to me. And obviously Nashi's picked me out, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was a difficult ball to take, to be fair, because it was coming across. I knew it would bounce before it hit me. And I just remember thinking I need to get a good touch here, because I was obviously getting chased down. So luckily for me, obviously as a lefty, I managed to control it off my right thigh into my path, which didn't slow me down. And before I knew it, the keeper was out, and I had to make sure I got a shot away and hit the roof of the net. And then obviously just mayhem. It was just mayhem after that. Just a huge pile on, and yeah, an unbelievable feeling. And just because I think scoring a goal at any level um, is an amazing feeling. But yeah, I think for everybody, it was just the fact that it's over. It was that adds a different euphoria to the whole feeling, because there's no comeback for Mexico then.
So let's just focus on you. I just want to ask you, was there anything going through your head after that ball went into the roof of the net and you were off celebrating?
Yeah, it was weird. It was just like you say, you're just so euphoric, and there's like different emotions that you wouldn't feel if you just scored a goal. I think there was like relief, because you knew there was no comeback from the opposition. It was yeah, there was just that sort of celebrations, euphoric moment, but it just, yeah, there was a lot of different emotions that don't come through with just scoring a goal. And I think that the celebration from everybody, and it just showed that how special the moment was.
Absolutely. So let's jump ahead to the finals. And after the whistle went, you guys were crowned 2000 Gold Cup champions. What was the emotions like running through your head then, knowing that you guys just brought home Canada's first ever trophy?
Yeah, it was surreal. I think it had been building though. I think once we kind of got past Mexico, I wouldn't say we expected to go on to win it. I don't think that, but I just mean in terms of you were just going from one cloud nine to the next cloud nine. It was incredible. And just to I think, yeah, there was just that massive sort of feeling of pride, and I think that in terms of personal achievement as well. I know how that's how I certainly felt. I think a massive amount of pride, and um, an achievement, and you couldn't believe really the whole tournament, how it played out, from the coin toss through to the golden goal, through to Craig Forrest's unbelievable display in the semi-finals, to then playing Colombia in the final, who were definitely underdogs, but we actually went on and dominated the game and had a really good game. So it just seemed like we just kept breaking boundaries, and I think that at the end of it, it just was, just an amazing feeling, something to be so proud of. And like you say, the whole of Canada, well, the obviously the fans in terms of that, because I know that wasn't not everybody in Canada follows football, soccer, so but certainly to those that were watching, it was a special moment.
So let's jump ahead a little bit. Just the present day right now, as we saw recently this last year. I know we're only like 3 months into the new year, but we saw in November Team Canada qualify for their first ever World Cup in 1986, since 1986, excuse me. So for you as a former player, what does that mean to you to see Canada qualify for its first ever World Cup?
Yeah, the first ever since '86. Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's one of them where we've been involved in World Cup qualifying campaigns in the past, and obviously unsuccessfully doing it, but we equally understand how difficult it is to qualify, and I think that not only for the present team to qualify, but to qualify as champions of CONCACAF is just unheard of, So it just shows a level that they're all playing at, and yeah, I think I've said this before. It's an unbelievable achievement, because it's not a one-off. You have to go and win all those games and play away difficult conditions, difficult climates, so things like that. I just know what it takes, and it's a massive achievement, and I think it was vitally important for Canada to qualify off their own backs ahead of the 2026, because I think if you didn't, and then you're in the World Cup of 2026, then everyone's like, well, you're only in because you're hosting, and things like that. So I think to be able to get into the World Cup prior to the one that will be jointly hosting, I think it was massive for the nation.
Absolutely. So for you, you go from a player to a coach now. So that first transition, what was it like going from player to coach?
I didn't really find it too difficult, I think, because I was always a player that seemed to try to help players that were alongside me. I seemed to sort of coach them through games and things like that anyway. And because I was a young, I broke into the first team at a young age. You're talking 16, 17, I was playing. So, I always, then once I was a more experienced player, older player, I was always helping the younger players coming through, because I had been there myself. So I'd always had that kind of coaching, mentoring kind of, sort of attributes in me. So no, it wasn't an issue that way at all. I think it just then started where you just want to get your feet wet in the coaching world, and work out what works, what doesn't work, how you act, what type of coach and manager do you want to be. So I think all that, it was a good transition for me. I really enjoy that. Obviously, if you can't play anymore, you want to be able to pass on everything that you know. So and it's very very rewarding, So and obviously, in terms of the management side, that's just the next step for me, which I've had a good first stint of that, and I'm obviously really looking forward to the next challenge, whether that be here in Scotland or England or abroad, back in Canada, wherever that may be, because obviously I've got a lot to offer, good background, and I look around, a lot of my teammates are our managers as well. So no, I'm looking forward to it. I think I think I can do a good job somewhere. Like you say, I've got plenty of experience behind me now in actually coaching, and I know what I'm looking for. I know how the game should play. I know what the game should look like, and that's a really exciting challenge when you get offered that opportunity.
Absolutely. No, I was gonna say, always find a way when you mentioned the coaching, how you got into it. It's like always find a way to stay in the game, I gotta say, for how much the game has done for a player like yourself, possibly, or even like fans or something. But my next question for you, I asked former Canada national team member as well, Dwayne De Rosario, this as he coaches in the Dero Academy. How much has the game changed since you last played?
Yeah, I would say it's changed in I guess philosophies, formations, but you're starting to see them sort of almost do full circles now. They very much came away. Used to be a lot of sort of 4-4-2 formations, and with good attacking patterns of play and things like that. And then it sort of came away from that very much a possession based game where you had Spain in the 2010 World Cup, and you've got Pep Guardiola wanting to play out the back, and you've got all this taking goal kicks on the 6 yard line, all this type of stuff. So it's changed a lot in that respect. But you are starting to see things come back a little bit in terms of formations coming back. They did go to a lot to sort of 4-2-3-1s and 4-3-3s, but you are starting to see some teams implementing back to 4-4-2s and high press and things like that. So it's definitely changed, and obviously the generations have changed in terms of the players. In terms of probably everyone's asked to be really, really comfortable on the ball. Even the goalkeepers now, you're seeing that. So it's come away a little bit in terms of that. Probably the technical side of the game has taken over from the physicality side, and obviously the physicality side's coming out in terms of what you're able to do tackle wise and stuff like that. So it has changed, but I don't think it stops people like myself trying to drive home and implement the what I call the foundations of the game, which is hard work. You've got to have a desire to go and be competitive. Yes, there's boundaries now, obviously that have changed, but it doesn't mean that you don't go and do everything that's possible to go and win a game of football.
Absolutely. So back to your soccer career, as you just got inducted into 2023 Canada Soccer Hall of Fame. First of all, where were you when you found out you were inducted, and what did it mean to you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so I was on. I was contacted by Richard Scott of the Canadian Soccer Association media to actually get on a Zoom call with a few other players, allegedly to speak about the 2007 Gold Cup. So that's what I thought I was coming into. So once I joined the Zoom call, I was very quickly told that this wasn't to do with the 2007 Gold Cup, and it was actually, me being announced as being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it was quite surreal, to be honest, because like I said, I was so fixed on that we were going to be talking about the Gold Cup 2007. So and then just obviously former teammates were talking and just saying some obviously nice things about me and what they thought of me, how they enjoyed playing alongside me, what they thought my attributes were, things like that. So that was nice, because we never really, we're all sort of friends. We live in each other's pockets when you're in camps and stuff like that. But you don't, it's not, you don't sit there and talk about each other's attributes or what necessarily you mean to each other. So it was nice to hear after all this time, I guess, because we have played together a long time. But what they took away from me as a player, as a person. So It was nice for that. And then obviously I just got officially sort of recognised at the end of the Zoom call, and not a very proud moment, I guess. Unexpected. I wasn't, like I say, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that on the call itself. So yeah, I'm just extremely proud. Obviously, playing for Canada over that stretch right through from the the youth team. It's given me and my family a wonderful additional career. Effectively, you have your domestic career, but to be able to go away and represent Canada basically all over the world. I think I've been to 46, 47 countries in my life, and most of them are due to to being part of Canada. So it's been amazing. And to get that type of acknowledgement, recognition at the end or after your career is finished is certainly certainly something to be proud of.
Absolutely. So, my last question for you, Richard, is what are some pieces of advice you can give to younger kids, younger adults who want to follow in your footsteps and play maybe at the international level for Team Canada, play overseas in Europe, or even become a coach?
Yeah, first of all, you need to have a passion for the game. You need to love the game, and and you need to work extremely hard. Just to even have a chance. And it's because nothing's we do live in an age now where everything kind of comes quite easy to us. But this is one thing that won't you have to work at it, whether it be your as a player, whether it be your technical side, your fitness, everything. You've got to really work hard for that. And as a coach, you need to get out on the training pitch. You need to get as many sessions under your belt. You have to be open to learning. You have to enjoy being part of it. It should never be a chore being linked with football, whether you're a player or a coach. It should be the best time you cross that white line, whether you're training or playing. It should just be your whole life gets put on hold because you just love what's going on that training pitch or in that game of football that you're participating in. And I've been in myself where you you've had a long day, and then you are tired. You should be tired, but then the second you get around the team, the kids, you just find this new lease of life again because it's something that you love, and you'll always find energy for it. You'll always find the passion and the interest, and it comes easy to me, I have to say, because I've always loved football, and it's been my life. And if I am an expert at anything that is football, I'm not an expert in anything else. It's been my life, and that's why I'm so passionate when I try to coach and manage, because I want the very best out of people, not just as players but as people as well. And that's what it brings a different type of fulfillment and sort of reward when you're a coach and a manager, because you can see how much you've got out of the players, taking an average set of players to beyond their own imagination of capabilities that they had. So it's a special feeling now, and like I say, I can't wait to keep going and seeing what the next project will be out there for me.
Well, Richard, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this episode of On the Sidelines. I really enjoyed talking with you about the Gold Cup, your football career, your coaching career, your induction into the Hall of Fame, everything I enjoyed. So thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to do this interview.
No problem at all. No, I've enjoyed talking to yourself, and it's like, again, it's easy to talk about. It's been a great life playing football. So, and like you say, it's the least you can do is talk to people like yourself, and if it can inspire next generation or give someone little tips here and there, then absolutely, it's well worth the time.
Absolutely. Well, guys, again, Richard Hastings, former Canada national team member, Gold Cup winner, and also golden goal in the finals of that 2000 Gold Cup. I'm Cameron Capobianco. We'll catch you guys next time.